Some people would rather kill your dream than see you succeed.
So many people I talked to at that time for Alipay, they say, this is the stupidest idea you have ever got.
My mom was wrong about everything she told me not to do. Love my mom to death. Okay, unbelievable friend of mine, she was wrong.
My father, he said this is an embarrassment to me and was stomping all over me.
I think every time I say I'm about to do something, people are waiting for me to fumble.
I just can't live my life based upon what other people think about me.
Oh, you don't understand how hard it is to make it, Brendan. It's so hard these days.
Everybody told me, you're nuts, you can't do that, you can't do that.
Beware of vision, dream, and passion killers. Family and friends, in most cases, sad to even say this, family and friends in most cases will be the first to try and talk you out of something that you're passionate, excited about, and that you have a vision for. Most of the people that have no dreams will wake up every day trying to talk you out of your dreams. They have no goals. They have nothing that they're ambitious about.
Create your own reality by choosing your future. And not only is it important for you to know it's possible for you to choose your future, but it's necessary that you work on yourself, that you develop yourself. It's necessary that you get the energy drainers out of your life, people who don't want anything.
The most powerful motivational speeches that I have ever heard came from people who told me I couldn't do something. You know why? Because when they told me I couldn't do it, I was bound and determined to show them that I could. Tell me I can't do it. I will prove you wrong. I will show you that you're mistaken, because I believe, and this is real important, I can't, will thwart you, will stop you, will slow you down, will turn you around and cause you to move backwards if you let it. But if you have the proper mindset, I can't, will do nothing but make you that more determined to get to your goal.
One problem, the violin. Because to do what you do, you've got to be a world-class violinist. Because if you don't, when you're moving around and being thrown around and still trying to play, you end up doing what you did, and that's missing loads of notes. And there were times when it sounded to me like a bunch of rats being strangled. Seriously, that bad. But you're not good enough, I don't think, to get away with flying through the air and trying to play the violin at the same time.
I don't think what you're doing right now is enough to fill a theater in Vegas.
That much movement made you not as great as you were. Made you not as great as you were.
Who's got the right to stop you? I mean, maybe some of you guys got something you never finished, something you really want to do, something you never said to somebody, something. And you're told no, even after you pay your dues. Who's got the right to tell you that? Who? Nobody. It's your right to listen to your gut. It ain't nobody's right to say no after you earn the right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do.
People who discourage us. You know, the people that you have in your life who, no matter how good of a day you're having, they'll bring you down. Or no matter how bad of a day you're having, they'll bring you even lower. You know what I'm talking about? Think of the 3 biggest discouragers in your life. They're not your biggest discouragers. You are.
Dear candidate, thank you for your application to our ballet academy. Unfortunately, you have not been accepted. You lack the right feet, Achilles tendons, turnout, torso length, and bust. You have the wrong body for ballet, and at 13, you are too old to be considered.
So you don't think you can? You don't think you can do it? Think again. No, you can. If you haven't done it, keep striving. Keep working. Don't let up. Things don't come easy. You gotta find it, whatever it is, within yourself. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit.
So, just because you fail doesn't mean you're a failure, all right? So I just need you to do me a huge favor, and I just need you to keep going, try to make that one different decision that you've not made before. And then my last one is don't let the distractions distract you. I know, real simple, but don't let the distractions distract you. Failure is not an option. When you go into it, I want you to go into everything you do, listen to me, as if failure is not an option, all right? It's not a button. It's not a label. It does not exist. You can do it.
Don't let nobody steal your dream. I used to ask myself, can I do this? And something said within me, you're the one. You're the one.
If you want to be great, not good, not also grand, not second, not third, if you want to be great, the very best at what you do, obsession is a necessity. Once you have that magnificent obsession, once you question impossible, the two keys, then when somebody like that tells you you can't do something, you have chosen the wrong one to tell something like that to. I will show you what I can do. I will show you, I will turn your I can't, I will never, I won't, it's impossible. I will turn it around and I will show you that I can do anything. Have you ever went out for something, or tried to do something, and when you got home quietly in your room, you knew that you had that much more that you could have gave, but you didn't want to look ugly in the face because your girlfriend was looking, or your boyfriend was looking. You didn't want to frown up like that and look, embarrass yourself. So I held back a little bit. Then you know, in your heart, you did not give everything that you had. And you'll know if nobody else knows. You'll know, oh man, I could have done a little better than that. I could have tried a little harder. And if I had, I promise you that you would have been satisfied with your efforts.
Well, let me tell you what the problem is. All right, let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is everybody wants the prize, but nobody wants to pay the price. Nobody said this was going to be easy. We don't want it to be easy. If it was easy, then everybody would be doing it, right? If it wasn't difficult, then everybody would be doing it. There'd only be, everybody would be an entrepreneur, everybody would be a billionaire, everybody would be a successful athlete or artist or businessman or salesperson or scientist. Everybody would be doing it, right? It's not supposed to be easy. You shouldn't want it to be easy.
We all want better things, don't we? We all want more friends, more stuff, more money, more security, more travel, more enjoyment. If you do the same thing tomorrow that you did today, you're stuck. Stuck. And it doesn't change. And it grows a little at a time. And you get a taste of success. But it's never fast enough. It never excites you. And when it does, it's a good month, or a good 2 months, or a good 3 months, but it doesn't provide a trajectory that creates success. So the first thing I want you to think about today is I want you to wake up tomorrow and do something different. And understand if you do the same damn thing, you're stuck. Just because you did it a certain way yesterday is no reason to do it that way today.
You can be wrong, you can pick the wrong career, you can pick the wrong job, you can pick the wrong spouse, you can pick the wrong whatever. But you get it right one time, you're set. But if you don't try, and if you don't go out there and try all those different things, you'll never get that one time.
You are an extremely powerful force if you decide to be. If you decide to not give up towards a certain goal, and if you have decided between all of your logic and reasoning abilities that this is the goal you should be going after, that this is a feasible thing for you to do, okay? You are so powerful in your ability to do that.
I say train your brain harder. Because if you think a certain way, then so are you. That sums you up. If you think with a I can't do it attitude, guess what? You right, you can't do it. Because that's the way you think. If you think it's impossible for you, it is. It is impossible. Because you believe in your heart it's impossible. For you, yes, it is impossible. You have set that limitation in your mind.
There's always going to be setbacks. There's always going to be things that go wrong. There's always going to be things you don't anticipate. Even when you have every I dotted, every T crossed, something's going to go wrong. What else are you going to do? You know, shit happens. And so you have to get back to work and you have to go after it and you have to make the best of it. And when it does, you just have to fight through it and grind through it and remember what it is that makes you special, what it is that gives you confidence to do what you do and do more of it.
Focus on what you do, become the best at it, put in the time, and eventually, great things are going to start happening. That's the way the world works. There's no getting around it, there's no shortcuts, there's no cutting corners, there's no secret program, there's no way to fast forward the process. It just takes time, and you've got to be patient, and you've got to be aggressively patient during the lag time to make sure you're doing every single thing you can.
Anytime that you give your best effort, that you give everything that you possibly can give, there is satisfaction in knowing that I did my absolute best. I did all I could do. There's victory in that. There's satisfaction in that.
To get successful are going to have to go out, get creative and think. You're going to have to become resourceful. You're going to have to get yourself solutions to problems that money can't buy.
You put in 120% every time or you don't put in nothing, because listen to me very closely. Today, this opportunity you have, it might not be here next year. It might not be here the year after next. It might not be here the year after that. This is the only moment you got, and you better take advantage of this particular moment.
You need to do whatever it takes. If you're working on opening a business, you need to be working on that shit 16 hours a day. You want to make that shit successful, then you need to be busting your ass, doing whatever it takes, putting everything into it. Otherwise, your business will fail. 80% of businesses fail. Why? Because people aren't willing to do whatever it takes.
As Thomas Edison said, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is to always try one more time. I know there are going to be a million times in your life where you want to give up, where you absolutely ache with the desire to quit, where nothing sits inside of your gut other than the certainty that you are going to fail, that you are not good enough to push forward. But that is to fundamentally misunderstand the nature of a failure. The nature of a failure is not to tell you who you are. The nature of a failure is to tell you a way that didn't work. It's to inform, it's to educate you, it's to test you. It's to be a gut check to find out if you believe in yourself enough to push forward even when the world seems to be telling you not to. And as Brian Tracy said, attempt the impossible in order to improve your work. Think about that for a second. Attempt the impossible just to get better, to try the things that you know are going to fail, things that the world is going to tell you simply cannot be. But even if it violates the laws of physics, if there's something in that attempt that you're going to learn, you owe it to yourself. You have a fucking moral obligation to try. Because all of the people that will lie in your wake are the people that didn't try simply because they didn't believe that they could do it. You have to be willing to look at the world. You have to be willing to see things that you yourself think are impossible and try, because in that you will stretch yourself. You have to be willing to look inward at the state of your current skill set and say, I'm going to play outside of that. I'm not going to play where it's safe. I'm going to play where it hurts. I'm going to play where I feel clumsy. I'm going to play only in the areas that make me feel stupid, because in that I know that the way that the brain responds is through adaptation, but I have to stress myself. You can't ever lose sight of that. The only way that the human animal adapts is through stress. You have to be willing to break things in order to build something new. So if you want to push the boundaries, if you want to see just how far you can go, if you want to succeed at the highest level, if you want to play on a global scale, you have got to be willing to try the impossible, because right now, the things that you need to do are impossible for you, but they won't remain that way forever. And as Aristotle said, pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. This doesn't have to be a tale of always being terrified. Everybody, myself included, screaming at you, telling you that you need to go do something great. The part they're leaving out is why the fuck should you care? And you should care because it's the greatest joy. You should only listen to this if it's leading you down a path that makes you feel more alive, and that's the point. The point is to get in touch with something that makes you feel great, but not to let yourself starve or be stopped by a fear that you'll fail, by a fear that it can't be done. Have fun. Have the guts to enjoy yourself. Have the guts to go out and attempt something audacious and terrifying, knowing that all along, if you're doing it right, you're gonna have a good time. So all of this, going balls out, trying to prove something to yourself, trying to do something amazing, never lose sight that it's to build a better life. Never lose sight of the fact that you're doing it to create the person that you want to be. Never lose sight of the fact that it should be fun.